For the past 7 years, I've been using a method that I didn't even know existed. And I've been using it to get the most attractive girls in my city to come to me. And even when I approach them and I go after them in person, it works every single time. Okay, so I've been using this method for a long time now, and you want to stay to the end of this video because I'm going to break down exactly how you're going to change your life from one where you're not in control of your dating life, you're not in control of getting the right women to come to you, to the point where you're going to be able to get a date whenever you want, and not only get a date, but dates with actual attractive girls that you actually want to be with. Okay, so a lot of you guys out there, you could already be getting dates, but they're not with the girls that you want, or they're flaking on you, you don't have enough numbers, or some of you guys out there at a point where you have nothing, right? Or some of you guys out there are getting dates, you're getting girls who are actually interested in you and stuff like that, but you don't know how to step into that method of abundance that's going to make your energy change and make every woman way more attracted to you. So no matter which stage you're at right now, you will benefit from this video by watching to the end, because it'll teach you a repeatable process that you can always use, that I've been using for years now, to get women consistently whenever I want. Right? If I wanted to use this right now, at this very moment, while I'm shooting this video, I could. So the first step that you need to do is get aligned internally. So this is something that I would do a lot that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know what to call it, but there's something inside of you that needs to change. And so sometimes the level that we're at in the real world is disconnected from the level that we're at inside. And let me give you an example. Let's say you're a man right now who you're going on dates, but your dates can never get to that second date stage. You know what to do already. You know how to get it to that second date stage, but for some reason you can't do it. That means that the person you are inside is disconnected from the person in reality, because women are seeing you in reality and being unattracted, but the you inside feels like you know what to do, and it's causing this disconnect. It's causing this anxiety inside of you because you're not doing what you need to do. So the way to get aligned internally is, no matter what stage you are, you have to understand what is the exact process I need to do to get the outcome that I want. And sometimes it takes a long time of asking yourself, what is it that I need to do to actually figure it out? So let me give you an example. Back in 2017, when I was disconnected, when I was misaligned, I knew that I should be getting out of the friend zone with these girls who I was attracted to. I knew that I should be approaching girls who I actually wanted, but I wasn't doing it, right? My results didn't show anything. I didn't have any girls in my life. I was getting friend zoned by all these girls who I thought were attractive. And so one day I was with my brother, and I literally thought to myself, I was showing him like some of the text messages from girls who I had talked to, and we were just looking over it, and he was real with me. He was just like, bro, you need to stop texting like this. Like, you're pushing them away. You have to start getting way more chill with everything. You have to just completely change the way you act with these girls, right? And that brought alignment for me internally, because inside my head, I knew already that that's what I needed to do. But it was having someone else look at me and go like, yo, like, this isn't right. You need to change that. That made me realize, like, okay, I can't keep being misaligned. I have to do the stuff that I know I need to do. So from that moment on, right, I started approaching girls everywhere I went. I set a quota for myself that I need to do 6 every day, right? I started texting girls way more nonchalant. I started just inviting girls out when I wanted to, not getting put in the friend zone. Since then, I've never gotten put in the friend zone actually, right? And so that alignment that it took for me by getting somebody who was a third party to look at what I was doing completely changed my life. And that's the foundation of everything. No matter where you are right now, you could have a texting problem, right? But is it really a problem, or do you already know that you're supposed to be texting in a nonchalant, seductive way, right? Is it really you can't get second dates problem? I had a client who was hitting me up the other day saying that his problem is that he can't get second dates. He was like, he doesn't know how to get the second date. And I told him in the messages, I literally straight up told him, like, you already know how to get a second date. Like, the exact way that you got the first date is how you're going to get the second date, right? You guys had a good time. You're going to call her up on the phone, be like, yo, what's good? Talk to her about her life, whatever's been going on for her that week. And then once there's a stall in the conversation, you go like, yo, I just wanted to know, what are you doing this week? That's why I was calling. Then she tells you, you go like, oh, for sure. So are you free on Thursday? Boom, you set up the second date. But if you're misaligned, if you don't have alignment, you're going to think that that's so hard to do that you're going to get this anxiety in you, you're going to get this fear, and you're not going to do it. So there's a whole bunch of examples that I can use, and you that's watching this right now, you want to go inside and look at what are the things in my life that spiritually I'm 10 steps ahead, I know what to do, but in reality I'm not doing them. It could be with anything. It could be fitness, spirituality, it could be finances, it could be women, right? But you want to zero in on what is the exact process I need to do to get to that outcome that I want. Okay, and women are the exact same way. If you want to get better confidence, start approaching women. If you want to get just better wardrobe, start going to the mall, start getting clothes, start becoming a different person. That's how you get aligned internally. The second thing that you need to do in order to start getting more attractive women in your life in a very quick space of time is exactly how I just said, decreasing the time it takes you to take action. Okay, so after you're aligned now, you know what to do, right? Now, you could either get results in 6 months, or you could get results in 6 days, or you can get results in 6 hours, right? It's up to you. If you take a long time to take action, if you're always in the planning stage of like, oh, I'm going to plan out this and I'm going to plan out this and I need to have a 6-pack before I go approach her. I need to be ripped before I text that girl who I have on my IG. I need to have this. If you're always in that stage, you're just delaying your life. Like, you look at life as like, we're always going to be here, and that's not how it works. You look at life like that girl that you want is always going to be here and always going to be single. That's not how life works. So you have to zero in on the fact that every day matters. And this is something that is huge. Like, I have people who I coach right now, and the information is the same. The information that everyone gets is very similar. But there's some people who get results in literally 2 days, and there's some people who don't get results until 2 months. What is the difference between the two? It's how quickly each of them takes action. So let me give you some tangible results that you can start doing right now in your life to take action, right? Is changing your wardrobe. That is the number one thing that is going to provide such a big difference in your life. Changing your wardrobe is something that you can do it very quickly, and boom, your results will change. Right? Second thing is taking nice pictures. I'm not going to get into in detail with that, but the quicker you get that done with the right wardrobe, boom, your results will change. Posting those on Instagram, posting those on Hinge, posting those on Tinder, boom, your results will change. How long does it take to do that? Well, for me, it could take 2 hours, right? I can literally go to the mall right now. After I go to the mall, take some pictures at a place that's right next to the mall, literally edit it on my fucking Apple Photos, whatever the fuck it's called, and put it on Hinge. That will take me 2 hours. Boom, I have a new dating app profile just like that, right? So if you take a long time to take action on the things that now you're aligned and you know what you need to do, and if you take a long time to take action on it, you're not gonna get shit. Like, you just, like, these millions of girls that are around you, they're not gonna know who you are. They're not gonna wanna know who you are because you're not meeting them. Like, when I said that I was approaching 6 girls a day, that was light. Like, that was a little bit. But I was still getting those reps in every day because I know I need to do this every day in order to get a lot of women, in order to get the confidence that's going to give me the right energy when I'm talking to a lot of women. All right. The third thing that you need after you're aligned and you've decreased the time it takes to take action is you need to overcome fear. Okay. So let me give you an example. You've probably gotten a line now and you know you need to approach, let's say, 6 girls a day. All right. You've decreased the time it takes to take action. So now you're like, okay, I'm going to go here today. I'm going to go approach, right? I know that's what I need to do. Then once you get out in the field, boom, this wave of fear hits you. So first thing you have to understand is whenever you're going on the right path, the devil is always going to try to stop you. Okay. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you're doing something that is spiritually connected, if you're doing something that's aligned, the devil will try to stop you through fear. And this is not just me that's saying it. I have a book behind me that's called Outwitting the Devil, where Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest thinkers of his time, said the exact same thing. The whole book is about that. And so when you're going in the field and you feel that feeling of fear come over you, I want you to think about this. First of all, every single person who has gotten great results with women goes through the same thing. I've gone through it. My friends have gone through it. Everyone goes through the same thing. I don't give a fuck who it is. Dan Bilzerian goes through it. Okay? Now, what separates us from you is that we feel the fear and we let it come over us and we relax. We don't think that it means anything about us. We don't think it means anything about the situation. We don't let it do anything to us. Like, honestly, when I feel fear, I don't think about anything. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is so bad, let me stop. I let it simmer and I just let it evaporate. Because when you go up to a woman, at the end of the day, you have to understand that if you're not used to it, it's gonna feel weird. Especially the first time you do it. If you're not in flow, it's gonna feel weird. So the way to do it is first feel it, let it simmer, and then make sure you get the first 2 approaches out of the way as quickly as possible. I can't tell you how much this will drastically change your life, okay? Let's say you're in a club, let's say you're in a day party, let's say you're in some type of event, right? If you take 45 minutes to talk to one person and then you take another 30 minutes to talk to another person, you've wasted an hour and 15 minutes just to get rid of the nerves, right? Now me, if I go into a party, if I go into an event, people have been out with me before where they see this, where I'll get the first 2 out of the way in the first 2 minutes. Because now I'm in flow. That fear doesn't hit me anymore. That nervousness will never hit me again through the rest of the night, right? And so get the first 2 approaches out of the way as quickly as possible, and you will thank me when you do this. Because I've seen guys who I've gone to the club with who were like clients of mine, right? And when we first get there, they're super nervous. They're like, oh my gosh, like, what are you talking about? We're about to go talk to these girls. Like, this is about to be crazy. Right? And then we get the first 2 out of the way. They have that awkwardness. They feel literally awkward. I can remember this. And then all of a sudden, I have to get them to stop approaching because they're just on it. Like, they just want to approach everyone because you get the first 2 out of the way. You deal with those nerves. You realize that it doesn't matter. And then you get to this zone where you're like, it's almost like lifting a cage off of your mind. Because when you're living in fear, you're living with a cage over your mind. You think that there's something wrong with you doing this thing that has nothing wrong with it. It's an open playing field. When you're at the gym, when you're in the store, when you're at the mall, whatever it is, we are allowed to talk to people. There's no rules in this life. Nobody said you can't talk to people. When you're on Hinge and you want to ask a girl for a date, but you're afraid of what she's going to say. When you're texting her, you want to ask her for a date. You want to ask her for the second date, whatever it is, and you're afraid. Understand that there's no rules. So the way to go through it is you have to relax. That's first of all. And second of all, if you're approaching women in person, you have to get the first 2 out of the way as soon as possible. Now, another way that I personally combat fear is getting more women. And I'm about to get to that in a second, but the more women that you're talking to, the more girls that you have in your phone, the less you're afraid to lose anyone. The less you're actually afraid of what she's going to say to you. The less you care about criticism and judgment, which is one of the biggest fears in the world. Okay? So doing this process of getting aligned, decreasing the time to action, overcoming fear, and what I'm about to get to next, literally it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You get so many girls in your life that every part of this process becomes easier. So it's like you gain this momentum. It's like this snowball going down a mountain where you just become this alpha guy that has so many girls in your phone that when a girl does some dumb shit or she tries to play you or she doesn't text back for a while, you don't care. And that makes her want you more. So understand that fear is the devil trying to stop you. And the moment you break through it and you consistently break through it, then you get to this point where you understand exactly how to combat it and you just start getting all the results that you want. Okay, so the last thing that you have to understand and you have to apply to start getting the best girls anywhere you go is conversation structure. Okay, so you're aligned now. You know the right process to take. You've decreased the time to action. You've overcome fear, and now you're in front of this girl, and you're like, what the hell do I say? Right? You're not afraid or anything, but you're like, what the hell do I say now? Okay, so conversation structure is actually one of the biggest questions that I've gotten from my clients for the past couple of years that I've been coaching, okay? And the biggest thing that I would say is my conversation structure is very simple. I just walk up to her and say, hey, what's up? What's your name? Okay, there's guys that have pickup lines. There's guys that go up to her and give a compliment. I don't do that. And the reason I don't do that is because I maintain something that I call neutral frame. And so neutral frame is basically where I don't give any overture or any kind of inclination that I'm super interested in her from the start. The only way she'll tell is from my vocal tonality. Okay, so I'll literally be like, hey, what's up? And then I'll pause for a second. This is very important. Pause while she's looking at you and you want to say with a loud tone, like, hey, what's up? You pause and then you go like, what's your name? And you can hold out your hand to like shake her hand, or you can give her a hug. It depends on where you're at. Me, when I'm in the club or something like that, or I'm in a party, I'm going to give her a hug, right? Because it's just normal for me. That's my vibe. Now, your vocal tonality and the way that you look in her eyes is going to signal to her that you're interested. Because nobody in this fucking world other than you, because you're watching this video, walks up to girls and just says, hey, what's up? What's your name? So people are not stupid, right? If a girl came up and said that to you, you're not going to think like, oh, she's a creep. You're going to be like, oh, she probably likes me, right? So automatically when you say that, that's how you first structure the conversation. So then she knows that you're interested, and that's going to make her go like, oh, my name is whatever the fuck her name is. And when you pay attention to her response, when she says that, it'll tell you her current level of interest, okay? Now, some girls are going to, when you first say like, hey, what's up? What's your name? They're gonna be like, Maria. They're gonna be kind of like awkward, right? That shows that her interest level is kind of like at a 5 out of 10, right? Some girls are gonna walk right past you and just be like, no. Right, I have a boyfriend or something like that. That shows her interest is obviously at a 1 out of 10. Some girls are gonna be like, hey, my name's Maria, what's your name? What does that mean? That means her interest is at a 9 out of 10. So the conversation structure is understanding that at first, that one question that we're asking, what's her name, is going to tell us what her current level of interest in us is, okay? After that, all we're gonna do is just start asking questions in a very seductive tone, okay? So you can ask her, oh yeah, I just wanted to see, what you're up to. Oh, where are you headed? Say if you're in a mall, or say if you're in, I don't know, a sidewalk or something like that. Where are you headed? Oh yeah, are you from the city? Oh, what do you do for work? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I just wanted to say what's up. I'm about to head over here, but you should get my number, right? If you ask these questions to get to know her, and then just at the end, just go like, yo, yeah, I just wanted to see what's up. You should get my number. This neutral frame with this kind of slow tonality, it makes them more attractive. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Don't ask me why, but it does, okay? So if you literally do things in that way, and you structure the conversation, the framework that I use in my head is like connect, right? I connect with them like, hey, what's up? What's your name? Then I qualify them. Qualifying just means asking them questions. Just think about it like that, right? But the most important thing is when you ask these questions to focus on your vocal tonality. You don't want to sound nervous. You want to just sound calm, like you do this all the time. And then after you qualify, you ask her a couple questions. Then you just go, oh, well, it's nice to meet you. I'm about to head back with my friends. Or, oh, yeah, I'm about to head to whatever the fuck you're about to do. But, yeah, I just thought you looked cool. You should get my number. If you literally do that, you run that conversation structure 100 times, there's things that you're going to learn about conversations that I can't even just pitch to you in this video. You run that 100 times, you're going to become a beast. Connect, qualify, convert, right? Just run that conversation structure every single time. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, you're going to learn a lot about women, and you're going to actually get a bunch of fucking phone numbers. All right, there was girls literally a couple of days ago who I gave them my number. All of a sudden, I'm getting girls blowing me up on my phone, right? Trying to get me to come hang out. And it's all because if you use this framework, what happens is that girls are not used to guys going like, yeah, you should take my number. They're not used to that shit. They're not used to guys just being like, hey, pausing and then going like, what's up? What's your name? They're not used to that shit, bro. So you run that conversation structure, you run it a bunch of times. Not only will you get better at it, but the results that you're gonna get are fucking crazy, bro. You're gonna get so many girls to the point where you're gonna be like, oh shit, this was way easier than I thought it was. And that's the whole point of this video, all right? These are the 4 steps that you need to take to literally just get a bunch of fucking women in your life, a bunch of just attractive girls in your life, so you can stop being lonely and stop feeling like you don't have power over this area of your life.